Well, the Big Ten became the first Power Five conference to postpone its fall sports season due to the coronavirus pandemic earlier this week. Our Ethan Burks joins us live from the newsroom to explain how the cancellation of the football system will impact the local economy.
Thanks, Joe. The implications of postponing all fall sports are pretty far-reaching. Of course, it directly affects the student athletes, the coaches and their staffs, and the university, but the indirect implications are also significant. Football brings more visitors to Bloomington than any other event, and when those visitors come to town, they spend a lot of money. Yogi's is one of Bloomington's quintessential college sports bars, beloved by IU fans.
When you own and run an IU bar, and IU's not playing, it's just not the same.
On game days, Yogi's often opens early, and fans pack in to watch the football pregame shows. But Martin says when large fan bases like Ohio State, Michigan, and Wisconsin come to town, they sometimes start seeing business pick up several days before the game.
All our hotels are full. Every restaurant is full. I mean, Ohio State rolls into town, and sometimes you start getting busy on Wednesday.
Last year, the Hoosiers drew just over 41,000 fans to 6 games at Memorial Stadium. A visitor profile study Visit Bloomington conducted in 2018 showed sports fans spend an average of $158 per night when they come to Bloomington.
Nothing is going to replace football. It's just not. It's the biggest revenue generator. I mean, that's why it's so important to the universities as well, because you're having those massive crowds with that type of spending power.
McAfee estimates that Monroe County visitors spend about $80 million in total during the months of September and October, with the number one expenditure being food and beverages amongst football fans. But when Big Ten officials voted this week to postpone the season, they emphasized their biggest concern was the health and safety of the players and coaches.
This has been a challenging week collectively. Today's been a very challenging day from an emotional standpoint, and I'm sure the foreseeable future will be in the same way. But we're going to continually work hard. We're going to continually work with our medical people. The world's not ending today. I just want people to know that we're doing what we believe at this point in time in the best interest of our student athletes, and that is their mental, their physical, and their emotional health, safety, and wellness.
The Big Ten says it will monitor the overall health conditions of the region before moving forward with a spring season. But in the meantime, Chris Martin worries about all the college kids who work in bars and restaurants that could be out of a job without the influx of customers that football brings.
There's going to be a lot of college kids that might not be able to afford to continue to go to school at IU because they're not going to have a job that's going to be able to support them.
Martin says they won't know for sure how this affects the service industry economically until they endure a fall without football.
So, Ethan, there was a lot of excitement heading into the fall for the Hoosiers, with the football team coming off one of their best seasons since the early 90s. What types of emotions were you hearing from the program after the decision to postpone was made?
Well, Joe, this week has been pretty disappointing all around. I mean, you think about all the special safety procedures and the guidelines that the players and coaches had to follow this summer just to have a chance to play this season. It's a huge letdown. You had student athletes coming back to campus for voluntary workouts, trying to get themselves ready to play. They were in endless Zoom meetings the whole summer with their coaches, trying to learn the playbook, and they devoted a bunch of time and energy to get back out there, and now that's just not going to happen this fall. But despite that disappointment, there is an overall consensus that this was the right decision from a health standpoint. Both Athletic Director Scott Dolson and Coach Tom Allen say the number one priority is the health and safety of everyone in the program.
And the Big Ten isn't the only conference to postpone sports. What are the other regions of the country doing?
That's right. The first dominoes to fall kind of in this canceling of fall sports were the smaller conferences. You saw the MAC and the Mountain West announced, and then as far as Power Fives, the Big Ten came out Tuesday and made their decision, and then the Pac-12 shortly followed the same day. Now, as far as other major leagues like the Big 12, ACC, and SEC, they're still wavering their options and could theoretically still play games this fall.
And circling back to Hoosiers and IU fans, what's going to happen with the season ticket holders?
So season ticket holders have been given 3 different options. They can either donate their money to the varsity club to help fund Hoosier athletic scholarships. They can also carry their tickets over to the next season whenever fans will be allowed back at games, or they will be offered the opportunity to get a full refund.
All right, Ethan, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe.